Hello everyone! Welcome to this horse painting time-lapse. If you like this painting and want to check my other art, you can find a link to my Instagram account in the description. I also have some of my best works for sale in my Etsy shop. For this painting I am using Winsor Newton Designer's Gouache paints and thick grey A4 paper, which I taped to my desk. This is a black horse with a white star, lit from behind with orange light. I use mainly phthalo blue mixed with black or white for highlights on the horse, and cadmium red mixed with white and lemon yellow for orange highlights. For the darkest parts I used black mixed with a little bit of phthalo blue. This is actually my first bigger and more detailed painting that I made since I got those paints, and I am not quite used to the colors yet, especially that I am using a grey background. I have already made a color chart for those paints. You can find a video on my channel explaining how I made it. I did use this color chart to find what colors to mix, but it was made on a white background and it wasn't always helpful. Also, gouache paints dry darker than while wet, so it is very tricky at the beginning, as despite having the color chart, I was still not sure how the color from my palette would look dried. I am using probably more layers than necessary, as I had to paint over areas that I didn't like. But this is a huge advantage of those paints, that they allow to do so, similarly to acrylics or oils, thanks to a very high opacity. In some parts of this painting I used a very saturated medium dark blue, and I was pleasantly surprised how nice the color looks even though it was painted over a dark base. For me, it is much more intuitive to use dark colors before light ones. For example, while painting the eye, I find it easier to paint the dark outlines first and then fill them in with lighter colors. If we use paints that are not opaque, like watercolor, there is so much more planning that has to be done before painting, and if we forget that we had to leave some parts lighter, there is no going back. And with gouache, to me it seems there is no mistake that cannot be fixed, so I would say it is very beginner friendly. is the finished painting. Not bad for first one, I would say. If I were to paint it again, I would use a different brush for the whiskers as they are too thick. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye bye!